Green.
If it happens very
Yellow. Good.
South African Arms and Ammunition Dealers Association says there have been delays with firearms applications and dealers have faced delays with import permits, making it difficult to keep the industry well stocked. This, they say, is as most guns in the industry are imported. The delays negatively affect sectors such as gun dealers, private security, hunting and wildlife conservation. The Arms and Ammunition Dealers Association says there are constraints in shipping, mainly due to port delays exacerbated by the recent floods in Durban, and they say there is poor service delivery at the South African Police Services.
Dealers face significant challenges, again from the Central Firearms Registry, bureaucracy related to import permits. They're frequently changing the goalposts, imposing new requirements without talking to us and letting us know, and those cause all sorts of delays and excessive costs when we encounter them, usually at the port of entry. Without a doubt, dealers and firearms owners in South Africa are fundamentally law-abiding and want to adhere to all of the requirements, and it would be so much easier for us to do so if we knew what was expected in every step of the way.
The disruptions come as players in the industry say there's been a rise in demand for firearms. This as the country continues to report rising crime statistics, seemingly fueling demand for guns. This gun shop north of Johannesburg says it recorded an increase in people interested in buying guns. They say the increase in demand for firearms was recorded particularly following last year's July civil unrest. South African Police Service data shows in the financial year 2020-2021, it received about 144,000 new firearm license applications.
So definitely from COVID and obviously the looting that happened, we have seen a huge spike. A definite increase in self-defense firearms, and people who've come in and said they've never wanted to own a gun, but it's now time to own a gun for self-defense.
South Africa's crime statistics have shown that violent crimes continue to increase. Studies have shown that perpetrators of such crimes usually use firearms. Temba Kubeka works in the security industry and is a gun rights advocate. He says he promotes the safe use of firearms as people are their own first responders when faced with a crime.
The only equalizer that I can think of, we live in a country where crime is going up, and the only thing that equalizes the situation is if you get a gun, because more often than not, actually 90% of the attacks, be it in home, farm attacks and whatever, those guys are armed.
Firearm instructor Dylan Hadassin says he has seen an increase in the number of people requiring training, especially from women.
I have had an increase in female clients, like I said, from diverse cultures as well. Half my clients are actually female, from the ages of 20 up to the ages of 50. They train with me one-on-one. It's just, a lot of females are saying, especially with this gender-based violence, a lot of them feel, and I do agree, that a firearm is the ultimate defense mechanism. A lot of people go for light things like pepper spray or knives or even a bit of combat training, which I agree, anything can help is good. But there's definitely a massive increase in firearms regarding females.
Lobby group SA Gun Owners Association says with the rising crime levels and people unable to afford private security, many are turning to firearms.
We often find a lot of more communities are deciding to protect themselves. They can't rely on the police. Those that can afford obviously have gone on to private security, and the private security industry has obviously grown over the years. If you look at just the size of the police force, how it's been reduced over 10 years, and the smaller, every year it gets smaller, but crime obviously escalates. And it's like a contrary type graph with the police going down this way and crime going over this way. And therefore, a lot of communities, a lot of people in the townships who can't afford private security are deciding they need to protect themselves.
According to Gun Free South Africa data, 23 people are murdered with guns in South Africa daily. There are about 4,500,000 licensed guns in the country, and about 9,800 guns are reported lost or stolen a year. All attempts to get comment from the South African Police Service were unsuccessful. Gloria Sefako Mosi, SABC News, Johannesburg.